Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Allah.
Mic check. Ha! How's that for a mic check? I got it solved. Sorry, guys. Computer just wants to update and do whatever it does. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm going with these glasses today because I'm kind of feeling a little bit blind right now. I'm not gonna lie. I've been feeling pretty freaking blind lately, and these blue light glasses are actually kind of helping out. I'm not gonna lie. I used to make fun of Rob when he would wear them on the show, but gotta kind of you get kind of used to it. So listen, before I get back to staring at the screen, the IDF has chosen violence today, and they ended up moving into the Gaza Strip, and they are slamming Jabalia, excuse me. They are slamming it. It's been under constant airstrike, artillery fire, all sorts of crap for like the last, I don't know, 12 plus ish hours. So we've got a lot of footage coming at you guys from the ground over inside of there today. Before we end up getting into that, and just as a little thing while we wait on folks to roll in here, I just wanted to let you guys know that the Freedom Flotilla, if you guys remember, that would be the nerd Matt, FTW, for the win. Dang right. I wanted you guys, the Freedom Flotilla, you guys remember the little humanitarian aid ship or whatever that tried claiming that Israel attacked it with drones and all that other crap, and I'd show you guys that like not that long ago. Well, the Freedom Flotilla is back at it, and they're claiming they're going to go break back into Gaza again. And I feel like at this point in time, it just might be, I don't know, it might be time for the international community to kind of like step in and do something about these nut jobs.
Hello world, I'm here in front of Madeleine, the boat that is going to sail towards Gaza to try to break the siege and create a humanitarian corridor. This mission of Freedom Flotilla is going to start from Catania, Italy, and we are waiting for all of you to participate in all the events prior
thank God.
to the launch of the mission. I'm going to leave you all the schedule here, and we are
Freedom
waiting
Flotilla.
for all of you there to support us and to speak about the cause of humanity, and also to support all the missions who are doing something actively to stop this genocide. The complicity of the governments. They forgot their responsibility towards the people.
Like, do people actually serious question? Do people actually buy this crap that like this group is actually going to go out there and do that? Like, I just can't for the life of me think that they would, or that they do, or that they care. I really don't. Trump is back at it with China again, angry tweeting about freaking China. I don't know if you guys ended up seeing this over the tariffs and everything else. He said that we ended up cutting them a deal because we were going to be nice people to China, and that China went back on the deal. And so he's really upset about it. So there's that little last piece. Now, this is probably one of the coolest things as I'm waiting on folks to come in here again, just a little bit more. So here's just a little bit more like side footage, stuff like that I'm going to throw at you before we get into Gaza. Check this sucker out. This is probably one of the coolest things. This is a drone that Ukraine currently has in operations. This thing is completely ran through AI. Just what it does is essentially launches, and it's got a different way of tracking, so it doesn't use GPS, so it's not getting jammed or anything like that. It's got like a little internal gyroscopic deal, reads the terrain and all that other crap, so it knows where it's going. And then it carries two smaller drones, like one-way suicide attack drones. So this sucker takes off, it launches, and then it's got two smaller drones that's able to like deploy down its enemies. Just so you're aware of what you're looking at here. They always got to put that crazy music in there. God, I freaking love them though. But that is probably one of the coolest things. And this is, again, as like warfare evolves and changes, I look at things like this because this is the type of stuff that really is going to be commonplace on the battlefield. Not that it's not already, but I mean, it's going to get more and more serious. And this is going to make new and ever evolving threats. And I think now is the actual time. I know a lot of people were really upset that the DoD's budget looked like it's actually getting increased, even though we're supposed to be cutting back on spending and all that other crap. But you got to understand, like, the amount of threats that are actually out there in this world. And if Ukraine's doing crap like this, we might not have seen it out of Russia yet, but you better believe that China and everybody else out there, their brothers and sisters, everybody's got it. So with that being said, let's start talking about Gaza and what's going on over there. First thing I'm going to bring up is I'm going to bring up these humanitarian aid distribution points. They're actually going really, really good. And people are kind of rising up. Yesterday, I ended up showing a video of the Gazans that had gone in and looted one of the major warehouses, and it was reported that 5 people ended up getting killed when they went over there to go do that. And so what we're going to be looking at right now, this video, allegedly, I think is actually outside of that warehouse as it was getting looted. Stu becoming a true supporter. Stu, I thought you were already a true supporter, brother. Why does it just do that crap to me? I don't know. Hey, that's not what I told you to do. That's not what I told you to do at all. Wow. Get it together. Get it together. Video will write itself in just a sec. Yeah, no ceasefire, by the way. Hamas decided that they didn't want to deal with it.
بنحكي معكم من وراء الجدران. ايوه اين متخبيين هنا؟ مات الزلمه. اي مات الزلمه. مات. قتلوا الزلمه. واحد يقولوا له ابو عدي. على الطراز. طب شو ايش ماله ايش راضي يحمل الزلمه.
You guys can kind of hear that gunfire in the background as all these people are out there. And so that allegedly is Hamas trying to defend their freaking UN food that they stole and didn't want to give to the people. When you look at hordes of people like this, it's like they figured it out, that like their sheer numbers don't matter anymore. And this is that tide turning that I was telling you guys about. The battle is important. Don't get me wrong. And we're going to touch on it. I'm going to show you guys here in a minute, a bunch of crap exploding, but this to me is what's important, because this shows that the people over inside Gaza, they're kind of fed up with the crap, right, of Hamas. And so they're going at it, and they're willing to get shot at in order to get their families fed. So they're not doing too hot.
طب يا خال انا جيت واقف قبلك قبل انا شوي ما بتزعق خلاص اصبر يا خال صور الجواسيس هاي الجواسيس عباد المطار هاي الجواسيس يا شيعة يا ولادي كحفة طبعا الزلمة مات.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd go with mostly peaceful. Anyways, yeah, that's that video. The humanitarian aid distribution, as far as like the U.S. side goes, is going really good. And I call it the U.S. side. It's U.S. contractors working alongside IDF, everybody else. But this is inside look. We're now going on day 4 of these suckers being open. And 3 out of the 4 of them, to my knowledge, 3 out of the 4 of them are currently in operation and functioning normally. I heard a guy yesterday on here. It was like a Palestinian local that said that what they're doing is they show up, they line up, and they're giving them like rations or ration cards, and they're able to turn those in to get their rations. That way they at least have some control over it, and people aren't coming back double dipping all the time. As you can see, they actually have decent amount of crap that they're giving out.
Around the world, they're not really interested in the canned vegetables. The crowd has showed no hostile intent. UG personnel, we're moving forward steadily. We're not pushing. We're just creeping up to move the line back or the crowd back so we can organizedly send them back to disperse again later. Very positive sentiments. A lot of down with Hamas. They're very happy.
Oh, goodness, David. You know, normally I wait for people to like, I don't know. But yeah, I just got to address this stupid comment right here. Do you actually believe that Israel is innocent because you were dead wrong on Ukraine? Not sure what you're talking about, me being dead wrong on Ukraine. I ended up calling a buttload on Ukraine, and I continue to call a buttload on Ukraine, and I continue to be right on Ukraine all the time, whether you like it or not. I called Ukraine 100% when I ended up saying that they were going to be stalling out in 2023. I called out on Ukraine when I said that all of this money that's not going to be going in there is going to be a huge problem. I can go back and I can show you me predicting the battlefield 1,000 times over of what was going to be happening in Ukraine and being right on that. And 1,000%, everything that I've called so far inside of the Gaza Strip has came through. And yet you're going to sit here and tell me that I'm wrong on it. That's really cute, man. That's really cute. So yeah, Jeff Johnson, an ex-CIA. Oh, okay. So Johnson, CIA. So somehow him being in the CIA makes him all of a sudden right. Right? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now? Because he's ex-CIA, that he suddenly knows more about war than I do? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You know what those nerds do most of the time? They go out, they talk to people, they get a bunch of bullshit together, they type it up, and they put it up in a cloud somewhere. That's what most of those retards do. So I could care less about Mr. Johnson, right, and what he thinks, and more about what the actual truth is. So yes, I am dead positive, 100% positive, that I'm right on Israel being innocent in all of this, whether you like it or not. So I hate to tell you that, friend, but that's where I sit. He took trusted words from the CIA. What a nerd. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of them, if you can't tell. And I also don't like that arguing from like a position of authority. I'd rather just stick to my track record about pretty much everything I've gotten right on this. Have I gotten 100% of it? You know, I'm definitely upwards of 90 for dang sure. So that's why we're here. So sorry about Jeff, and sorry about like your feelings on it. But yeah, I'm 100% positive. I know what I'm talking about. So thank you very much. And lots of people think I'm actually positive and I know what I'm talking about. That's why I go on TV all of the freaking time and talk about the wars, because people are like, holy shit, this guy knows his stuff. Hate to tell you that. It's just the way it goes down. This, in case you guys missed the broadcast last night, this guy probably has one of the most profound statements. He says that if Hamas would have given them just, I don't know, a kilogram or something like that worth of flour, they wouldn't have gone to the Americans, but that's why they're doing it. Austin Wilcox says, hey, everybody pray for my family. I have had to take 2 months off of work with no pay to take care of my father. Oh, man, that sucks. He has mental illness and suicide with schizophrenia, and mental hospital is no help. Austin, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Lord, look after Austin and his family. Be with him. Amen. All right. Let him have it, Tardio. Yeah. All right. So here we go.
أنا اليومين جاي عند عمتي، سمعت قالوا لنا في خبر قالت النقطة الأمريكية إنها بتوزع مساعدات. عادي رحت قريب فيش لقيت الناس بتروح طبيعي وعادي. ما حدش يعني قال لنا روح ولا حد، لقينا الناس بتروح، وصلنا لقينا الناس صار في طابور والشركة الأمريكية بتوزع بشكل منتظم. لما قالوا لنا ما فيش خلص المساعدات، الناس هجمت واحنا كنا من ضمن اللي هجموا. احنا بنقول حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل على كل واحد خلى الشعب زي هيك. لو انه واحد يقدر يوفر لنا كيلو طحين غير ال3 كيلو اللي بتوفر لنا النقطة الأمريكية كان ما حدش في الشعب راح. انت قاعد بتقول الحين كيلو طحين ب 100 شيكل في السوق، كيف انا واهلي ممكن احنا نشتريه؟ ولو كان مع الواحد امكانيه كيف باقي العائلات ممكن تشتريه؟ هاي اللي دفعنا احنا نروح على النقطة الأمريكية. وبالعكس كانوا كويسين معانا، كانوا يسلموا الكابونات، صاروا يقولوا لنا خذوا، بعكس اللي كان هو ماسك القطاع ومش عارف يعمل معانا حاجة. احنا كشعب بنقول لكم احنا بدنا اي حل، اي شيء ممكن يوفر لنا الشغلات هذه. كان ما لقيتش حد بروح على النقطة الأمريكية، احنا رحنا مع القلة. إذا حماس.
So this, to me, again, is like the big human terrain that I'm looking for. This is people saying that, listen, Hamas, if you would have just given us a little, we wouldn't have gone to the Americans. But they're giving us 3 times as much. By the way, you're overcharging for your stolen humanitarian aid that you're selling out on the street. Now, let's start pushing over here. Like, you know what? I can show you guys more humanitarian aid stuff. Let's just get to like some of the combat and crap like that that's going on. This is footage that ended up coming out of Khan Yunis. You guys remember how I ended up telling you guys? So Khan Yunis, like a little bit, about 75% of the way down the Gaza Strip, about 3 miles-ish north of Rafah. This video is coming out of Khan Yunis, where the IDF had been going in since last week, and they're taking their sweet time. If you guys remember, I told you that they're going to be doing a slow, systematic clear, so don't expect huge territorial gains really, really fast, or expect them to take a big chunk and then slowly clear through that big chunk over time. This is why. This is why I'm against another ceasefire. This is why I'm against like any of that crap taking place, because of this. This is a house that's rigged to blow. And what you can see here is the drone going in. Luckily, the IDF is like utilizing it accordingly. And there you see this hanging right in the middle of the room. Now, you might be asking, Matt, why is that hanging in the middle of the room, right smack dab in the center? Well, because things explode equally 360 degrees in all directions. So as they have that hanging in the middle of the room, if soldiers enter that room, what they're going to end up coming across is a big boom and frag to their freaking face. And so you can't have crap like this all over the place. And the IDF, in order to tear this down, again, all of these buildings, all of this crap, you're going to end up like having rigged and all of these other issues that are going in there. They've got to be capable. They've got to be capable of feeling confident in, one, allowing the civilians to return to the battlefield after everything's said and done, and two, when the contractors go in there to rip everything down, we don't need a buttload of contractors dying. So they're going to have to take their sweet time going through Gaza now and in the future in order to prevent all of those things from happening. Not to mention, you just don't want people to, I don't want to say this, get kind of like stuck out there, right? This is to give you an idea, because the IDF right now is moving into Jabalia, and the last time that they were in there, they ended up having a buttload of resistance when they went in there. And I mean a buttload. So this is just one small day, one small cache that they ended up finding. This right up over here, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a EFP, explosively formed projectile. That is going to create a big freaking hole in the side of a tank if it would have freaking hit it. So luckily they got that out. That is not, excuse me. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry. That's not an EFP. That is a shape charge. Wow. Brain fart. Shape charge. Dang, Matt. Calm down. Two different explosive effects that happen. Anyways, that one just uses hot gas. This one right here, up over on the left, just uses hot gas and blast it, just the way the blast works. And then the EFP is actually like a big copper slug that ends up getting shot out. Sorry, my brain, man. Whew, still working today. InfoWars, 522,000 Sudanese babies starved to death in 2 years since the start of the war there. Can they get a freedom flotilla? No, MT, they cannot get a freedom flotilla because Jews aren't doing that to them. But if Jews were doing it to them, you know, they'd feel a lot better about it. Again, just some of the fighting and stuff like that was going through. You can see the level of destruction, and I've got more of that coming up for you here in just a little bit. But yeah, this is all from the last time that the IDF had gone into Jabalia. So let's start looking at what that city looks like, because this, oh, stop with your silly music. This is what Israel has to now clear through. All right. All of this rubble, all of this garbage. They are, and it doesn't, I understand that Gaza is not that big, but when they start pushing through, this is what they're dealing with. And so what they have, and we know this from the videos that we saw that Hamas released, what they're going to have is fighters that are going to be scattered all the way throughout all of this rubble and all of this garbage. And you can see how much debris is on the ground there. That's going to create different choke points that the IDF is going to have to slowly pick up and move through, right? So they're not going to be able to just haul butt through all of that. They're going to have to slowly move through it. And they started last night with airstrikes, and they started with artillery. What I've heard coming out of there since I've looked is there's been nothing but a constant rain of artillery with airstrikes that are just kind of randomly going down. Now, that is a completely, as far as I'm concerned, a completely new tactic that Israel looks like they're doing. This is like a traditional infantry style assault where you have like your fires that are going out in front. Okay, so you have like artillery that's falling over the top of your troops as your troops are moving in, executing those types of targets. And I believe that's what we're actually seeing down here on these different objectives as they start moving through. They're also conducting these different airstrikes. Okay, so lots of videos of massive airstrikes that are taking place over inside that city. So it looks like they're using them in like a decent targeted fashion as it's going through. Obviously, artillery is a hell of a lot easier to employ than airstrikes are when you're not over there. Yesterday, the IDF issued this warning out and told people to get out. If it was to translate over to English, this is exactly what it would look like. All right, this is the Saladin Road that ends up cutting right down north to south running road right through the middle of Gaza. And they're telling people it's a combat zone and to get the heck out. All right, it tells them to get the heck out. And this got dropped yesterday. And 24 hours later, here we are, and they're moving in. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise to these people because the IDF was stacked up on the outside of this city for, it seems like, the last week. All right. I showed you guys like the reports of them pushing up over near that hospital over in Jabalia last week. And there was a lot of fighting that ended up taking place. Now the people are kind of like getting up, packing out, and moving. BJB says, hey, Matt, I had to stop the membership for a while, but I'm back. Hell yeah, brother. Just want you to know that I appreciate everything you do and love you, brother. Thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate that. So you can see, even though they received the evacuation notice, not everybody paid attention to it, and they're still kind of like I don't know why they are, but they are hanging around. This is a little bit close-up view of an airstrike, and if you look down here at the bottom, right down here, it might be kind of hard for you to see. I'll blow it up for you guys. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, you see a bunch of males that are just kind of on the street and walking around in this video down in the bottom corner, and you start seeing people that look like they're fleeing to get the hell out of the area as well. But yeah, people are definitely taking notice this time, and they are getting the heck out of Dodge because fighting has intensified to that point to where I think they realize it. And I can only imagine that if we got the word of how well that humanitarian aid distribution and all that other crap is going, it's only going to motivate the people further to get the heck out of there, because they do not need to rely on their traditional means that they've been using in order to get food and everything else for their family. This is a video reportedly of the IDF basically staging, getting ready to go to get their butts into Jabalia. And you can see the tanks that are moving out ahead of them, and then they have different vehicles in the back. Now, interesting enough, these vehicles, like these razors that they have set up over here, you can see, which I got to pause it real quick, something that I ended up noticing, is you see the stretchers that are on the back of these. There's a high probability that that's kind of like a TTP that they're using in order to use these things in order to get people the hell out of Dodge and get them back to safety. These little things, and it's very, very smart of the IDF to be doing this, because those razors or those side-by-sides, those things can fit in some of that tight space and get in there. So when people are getting shot, it actually makes sense. Haul your ass up there, get them on, and get them the F out. Problem is, I've done like medevacs like that before, or casevacs, I guess would be the proper term. I've done casualty evacuation with side-by-sides before like this. That is not something that you really want to do for that long of a distance, because the amount of bumping up and down that ends up happening on them, it just kind of sucks. It's not comfortable for the casualty, and you're also worried about them falling off and everything else. Here's another airstrike. Terrence Howard in the chat, let's do math with ones. I don't even know what that means, to be perfectly honest with you. I feel like I should, but I'm not going to lie, I don't. Here's another airstrike. Get that sucker up on the screen so you guys can see kind of some of the intense bombing that's taking place and all of the other fighting and everything else that's going on around there. And the people are fleeing. They're getting the heck out of Dodge. This is a decent one from a distance. I kind of like this one. This reportedly, OSINT ended up putting this out. He said this was over in Jabalia this morning. And you could, again, this is the level of destruction that the IDF is going to have to work their way through slowly and methodically all the way through. Joel Deckard says, MAGA from Oklahoma. Dude, I'm not even sure if like people fully understand what MAGA even means anymore, because it's been turned into like 1,000 different things. And it all started, I don't want to get into politics right now. I just can't. 1 + 1 = 2. Yes, sir. They sure do. Another view of the airstrikes. You can see the water towers and stuff like that are still like up in place on top of these buildings. Like people have been living in there. It seems like we got just a bunch of different angles from this. I really wish that this video or this airstrike was captured live, because it definitely appears like they hit something very, very large. We do have another airstrike video coming up here in just a sec for you. Let me get this one up and running. No, not that one. Where is it at? It's one of my favorite ones I ended up seeing so far today. And it does a very good job showing you a secondary that's in there. Rob needs to visit us. Yeah, dude, I agree. I'm gonna go see Rob here, and oh shit, man, it's got to be this week. I think it might be this next weekend. I'm going to visit Rob. I need to check my plane tickets. I need to see where I'm at, because he is graduating from the police academy, and my butt is supposed to be down there hanging out with him. So I need to definitely get on that. Let's see here. Here we go. This is the video that I was looking for you guys. Check this sucker out. This one right here. This video, you can definitely see a secondary going off. I love the Al Jazeera. You can see it in the bottom right-hand corner. Put this out. Kadak News IL ended up stealing it from Al Jazeera. They did a really bad job blurring that out, but... Yep.
Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Allah.
Yeah. And you guys can see like that multiple strike end up hitting there and it blowing out in the different directions. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to cut it short this morning. Today is going to be a a very short broadcast. I have to get ready. I've got an interview. I'm going to be interviewing Nancy Mace for 69 minutes on X. So that's coming up. Hollywood Marine coming in right at the end there, gifting out 20 Speak the Truth memberships. Heck yeah, buddy. Appreciate you very, very much, sir. So you guys look forward to that. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you posted over in the Discord when that's actually going to go up. I think it's actually going to go up on Sunday, if I remember right, the way the filming and scheduling works for them. So that's going down. This is huge. You know, I really look forward to this. Haven't talked to her before, but you know, as far as policies go, she's got some interesting one. I know her and I have some conflicting views on a couple different things. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good day. I look forward to it, and hopefully I'm going to see you guys here in just a little bit. Thank you guys for joining me. Stay tuned. Like, make sure your notifications and stuff are turned on, because this fighting that's taking place right now with Israel going in is going to intensify. So as things are unfolding, I'm going to do my best to be here this weekend. So if big stuff ends up coming out, right, because as Israel's pushing deeper into Gaza, it's likely to piss off Iran, and it's likely Israel will defend itself, and it's likely that Israel, unfortunately, in the IDF are going to end up taking mass casualty incidents and things of that nature as they push deeper, just because Hamas is going to be lying in wait for ambushes, and they've got houseborn IDs, all sorts of stuff, unfortunately. So